Hello, everyone, and welcome to our 5th episode of MOMENTO. As always, I'm your host, Eleonora Rio. Today, I got the chance to interview Bayley from Educational Justice. We have a lot in store for you today, including a special opportunity at the end. So take a deep breath and relax because this is El Momento. To give you all a bit of background on Educational Justice, EJ is a nonprofit striving to end educational inequality by pairing 5th through 8th grade students with high-achieving high school peers for long-term one-on-one tutoring and mentorship to improve their academic performance and social development. Bayley recently came to speak at my school, and I was very intrigued with what she had to say, so I invited her onto the podcast. So thank you so much to Bayley for being here. Let's begin. Question number 1. How do you define success, and in your mind, have you achieved it?
In my opinion, I think success is being able to do exactly what you want to do and what makes you happy when you want to do it. So I used to think that success was doing what other people wanted you to do and accomplishing that in a timely manner according to them. But really, it's being able to know what you want and being able to achieve those things, go after them, and work towards them, and doing it on your time. That's what success is. And I feel like I have achieved it because so many of the things that I get to do are things that I love and with people that I love. And it's things that make me happy and that I've chosen to do, not necessarily stuff that I'm forced to do. And that makes me feel successful and like my life is full and abundant. So that to me is what success is. And I do believe that I've achieved it and will continue to do so.
I completely understand. When I first came up with the idea of Beauty Within You, which was about 3 years ago, it was because I had never been involved in anything like it. Now I am so happy that I get to spend my days working on all of the things that I could have only dreamed of before. Moving on to question number 2. What is one thing you are determined to change or would like to change in the world?
One thing I'm determined to change in the world is the lack of access to education. So many people, and children in particular, are not given the same resources to succeed and achieve what their idea of success is because of where they were born, who their parents are, what their income level is, what school system they're in, what their closest school is to them. All those kind of things determine your entire life and your entire future. And I absolutely don't think that should be the case. I think we should all be on an even playing field where only your hard work, dedication, and your love and passion determine where you're going to go in life, not where you were born, not how much money you have, and not whether or not you can afford things like tutoring and stuff like that. So that's something that I'm actively working to change by working with educational justice, actually.
That was a beautiful answer. Education can oftentimes be something we take for granted when in reality it is truly crucial to our development. To follow up, what motivates you to keep going?
Something that inspires me to keep going is seeing the impact that my work has directly on young people. I love to see the excitement young people have to provide a service to their peers. I love seeing the excitement the peers who are being mentored get, seeing the person that they get to work with. I loved, teaching because I got to see the way a kid's face would light up when they finally understood something that was really hard for them, or when they read something that made them really happy and gave them hope and was making them dream. Those kind of things, it makes you want to keep going because you realize that there's a whole group of people younger than you that you have to do this for. It's not about you or yourself anymore. It's about who's coming in behind you.
100%. Seeing the impact of the work you are doing can often be the best motivator. On the topic of helping children, what is one piece of advice you wish you could give to your younger self?
One piece of advice I would give to my younger self is to please stop being so hard on yourself all the time. It is impossible to be the idealized version that you've created of yourself in your head. There's not a single person on this earth who is perfect or hasn't gone through their life making mistakes that given a second chance, they would, you know, not make the same decisions. No one has things in their life that they don't feel that way about. So rather than beating yourself up, give yourself some grace. Give yourself the same leeway and grace that you would give other people if they were in your situation, rather than beating yourself up, because you wouldn't talk to someone who is going through what you're going through the way you're talking to yourself. And you have to treat yourself how you would treat others.
This question is personally my favorite to ask because it is interesting for me as a teenager to hear the adults who are now in successful and happy careers once had the same doubts I do. It's truly eye-opening. That brings us to our final question. Who is a role model of yours and why?
One person that I see as a role model for myself is my English teacher from high school, my junior and senior year. Her name was Tammy Brock, or is, and um, she is a teacher who is in a very rural area, and I grew up in a very rural area, and we both hold identities that are not necessarily super common in very rural, very country areas of Kentucky. But despite the fact that, maybe that area might not be our biggest fans based on who we are, we still are constantly giving back and showing love, because Tammy was someone who could see the heart of someone. Maybe they had opinions that differed from hers. Maybe they had different things going on in their life that made them different from her, but she saw them and made them feel seen and made them feel loved and heard. And it was no matter who they are. And that's something I want to be able to do for people.
I think sometimes we underestimate the impact teachers can have on their students, and this was a wonderful example. Thank you so much, Bailey, for sharing this time with us. Gracias a todos por escuchar. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning, we do have a special opportunity for our listeners. If you would like to nominate someone or nominate yourself to be featured on El Momento, fill out the form in the description of our episode. Once again, thank you all for listening. Tune in next Wednesday for our latest episode. I'm your host, Eleanor Rio, and this has been El Momento.